Am I the biggest Marvel movie fan in the world? No. But do I go into them with an open mind? No. Not usually. I go in with like with the expectation that it's probably not going to be good, because I've been conditioned now that Marvel movies they're not hitting like they used to. So I'll be honest, I go in there and I'm not usually expecting it to be good. The same was kind of the case for the new Captain America movie. I didn't have high expectations. I didn't think it looked bad or anything from the trailers, and I like the previous Captain America movies. So I was hoping that it was going to be surprisingly decent, and I thought Red Hulk looked really cool in the trailers. But the reviews came out and people weren't liking it. I was pretty surprised to see how low of a score it has. It's like the third lowest rated Marvel movie ever made or something, or MCU film. It's crazy. So I went into it, and now that I've finished watching it, I can say it's not the third worst Marvel movie ever made, Marvel MCU movie ever made, but it's not very good either. It's better than the worst movies in the MCU, which isn't, a great achievement or anything, but it's not as bad as people are saying. It's just definitely not good. So I went over it really deeply on stream. I'm just going to play that because when I got home from the movie, I just wanted to unwind and rant about it. So I'll just give you that for my review here. Yeah, here, let's just get into it right away. I've got thoughts, I can't contain them. I gotta let them out. We're pouring the toothpaste out of the tube. I didn't have, super high expectations or anything. I thought Red Hulk looked cool. By far, the best part of the movie is Red Hulk. He has maybe 4 minutes of screen time. I'll get in this. I'll give you a spoiler warning when I get to it, but I'm going to talk broadly. I do not think Captain America: Brave New World is as bad as the bottom of the barrel, super slop, revolting, putrid trash like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Eternals, Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor 2, Black Widow. I don't think it's down to that level. But it's also just barely over it. It is a movie that is... It feels like it is basically... I'm trying not to get into spoilers right away, but it is basically just a worse version of Winter Soldier. Everything in the movie is things we have already seen in Marvel, down to the story, just done worse, and with characters that aren't actually superheroes. They're heroes, but they're just people, which is the new Marvel trend, which I get it, and in the film they make a point to talk about it Steve Rogers, he was someone people could believe in, but you're someone people can aspire to, because you're just a man, you don't have a super serum. That's kind of inspiring, okay, but it's really underwhelming when you're telling the same fucking story, but this time without a super soldier. How were the action scenes, though? The action was good. I really like the way the new Captain America fights. I think it's very creative, it's fun, it's versatile. That's solid. I thought they were very solid with that. And having Falcon team up with them, the new Falcon, I think that's solid. They do great there. There's not a lot of them. There's not a ton of action, it's sporadic. Okay, that's fine. But when it's there, it's a nice treat. A story that they have already told bar for bar in the MCU before. We're watching a regurgitated Winter Soldier story, but now everyone's nerfed. And the villain, I think, sucks. The villain is basically... Oh man, I don't want to get into spoilers. Villain's basically I got smart serum, so now I can calculate probability. Except all of his probability calculations are wrong. And his probability calculations are so trash that he makes... This is kind of a minor spoiler, so spoiler warning. One of his calculations was he hurt one of Captain America's friends. He framed him. And he thought by doing so, there was an 89% chance that the new Captain America would give up. And it's brother, what the fuck are you talking about? You're poking the bear. Why would he give up when you just framed his friend? What probability calculations are you running? This whole time, they hype him up as the super smart guy. But he even says, not a single one of his plans really come to fruition, except in loose pieces. But he even says multiple times, you have surprised me. And it's no, why did he surprise you? He tracked your phone because you phone called the bad guy, and then you talked to Captain America on that phone. Obviously he's going to track it. Why is he surprising you? That's a bumbling fool could have known that that would be the next course of action. Not super mastermind. The movie is the third lowest rated MCU project on Rotten Tomatoes. The only projects lower are Eternal and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I saw that, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it's to that level. I think it is still better than the worst of the bunch, which isn't a compliment. I know that's not high praise, but it's not as bad as people are saying it is. It's just truly feels like a waste of time, and it really... Now we're going to get into a little spoiler territory. There's no actual consequences for anything at all. Like like all of it it feels like this was I know it went through 4 reshoots, and it feels like somewhere along the reshoots they forgot what they were even fucking doing. So you just get like a time waster. It's inherently worse because it's come off the back of a bunch of bad ones, so people's frustration is stacking. Yeah, I know, it's kind of like this avalanche effect, so it's like this fucking snowball where so many of these movies have just been lackluster that this one, I think for a lot of people, is like, okay, I'm fucking done. I get it. But it is not as bad as the worst. It's just not good either. Now I want to get into spoilers. This is fair warning. Fair warning. I'm going to get into some spoilers here, because there's some shit I really want to talk about with the movie. I'll give everyone a moment to acclimate to, latency or whatever. Okay, now we're going into spoilers. I really fucking hate how extraordinarily lackluster it is when you put a superhero formula with people that are just people. So Red Hulk is a super villain that can only be equaled by a superhero, a point they even make. So, you can't fight him as a person. You have to resort to basically Naruto talk no jutsu. And I had a feeling this is what was going to happen. You can't fight him. You can barely do anything against him. So in order to beat him, you have to say calm down. That sucks. That is so underwhelming. So Captain America doesn't actually beat anybody except a throwaway side villain. So, like, the supervillain turns himself in, and that's the last we see of him. He's like, in order for my plan to work, since you've bested me in the other 2 places, kind of, I'm going to turn myself in. And he does. So he's gone. And then Harrison Ford gets real mad and goes Red Hulk. And at that point, I knew it was cooked. You're not fighting him. I thought maybe a weapon that they had or something, like Wakandan technology, because they were like really making a point about that. But no, it boils down to, remember your daughter. I know you want to change, so be the change you claim you want to be. And he goes, oh, and he shrinks back to old man. It's just so underwhelming, because it's a superhero movie. So you want, like, superhero shit to happen when you have this climactic fight, and you don't get it because it's people. So it just makes it so the only thing you can do is that. Did you like it when Black Widow did it with the Hulk? It was fine back then because you're still surrounded by things that make sense, like, oh, Hulk is going up against all of these other really superpowered people and shit. Like, it makes more sense in that context. And it's not like the climactic final moment. Like, it doesn't all build up to that. Post-credit scene was also a bit goofy. Full disclosure, I didn't stay for the post-credit scene. I just wanted to get out. I was so bored. And that was such a lackluster ending, I was just ready to go. I didn't see the post-credit scene. I don't know. The villain was like, I predict worlds will collide soon. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil everything about the movie. I know I just talked about the ending. But I'm going to try not to point out everything about the film, but yeah, that sounds like some fucking cringe for it. Who the fuck goes to a Marvel movie and doesn't stay for the post-credit? That's like 50% of even going to watch it. What is that mentality? What? Half the reason to go see a Marvel movie is for the 5 seconds at the very end where they say, and he will return, or worlds will collide. I can just look it up, man, and get the same effect. Red Hulk all over the marketing, no big fight. we're still in spoiler territory. I'm sure people that were avoiding spoilers are still out of this. No, man, like I said, Red Hulk gets, like, actually just one sequence. Granted, the sequence is, like, 8 to 9 minutes, maybe? And it's cool. Like, I think that is the best part of the movie by far, that fight. Until the fight ends. Then it's, wow, does it go out with a whimper. Half of the Red Hulk fight is in the trailer. Not wrong. Legitimately, that guy, he's making a joke, but he's not wrong. Most of the big Red Hulk moments you see in the trailer. Almost the whole fight is there. And there's not any other. I'm somewhat optimistic for Fantastic Four, and I'm somewhat optimistic for Thunderbolts. But, as I predicted on stream a couple days ago, they set up a villain in Thunderbolts that is a villain meant for the best of superheroes, not people, not just guys. You know what I mean? Not just like human beings. So the only way I can see them, and you can clip this and mark this down, I'll be a fucking prophet with this. The only way I see them beating Void/Sentry is the good part of him. Sentry takes over, he's like, guys, I'm holding back Void. I'm opening my weak spot. Do it! And then they'll kill him like that. That's the only way. Because these villains that they're putting in these movies without a superhero to fight them cannot be beaten except, like in this movie, if you ask them to stop. You know what I mean? Or if someone intervenes like that and does, like, fucking Deus Ex Machina shit. No, done with spoilers. No more spoilers. I won't go much more into spoilers. Again, just not good. Not good, not nearly as bad as the worst in the bunch, though, of the MCU. If you're going to break the MCU movies into 4 tiers, great, good, mid, trash, this would be in mid. Just above trash. A Marvel crew member came forward and said everyone on the team knew the movie was going to be bad because production was chaotic and a lot of scenes were completely cut. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know about the crew member thing you're talking about. The movie does feel like there was so much that was chopped out of it that there's a lot of points in there that feels like they forgot the connector. So, man, I already said we're done with spoilers. There's a character death that I'm pretty sure everybody on the entire team, including the actor, forgot happened. And yet, the way it was portrayed felt like it was going to be really important, but in the next scene after the character death, the guy goes and just tells Captain America the vital information anyway. The bad guy does.